In a world where two short-term rental bros come together.
What?
Not in that way, bro. There is a podcast of truly epic proportions where we talk about all things short-term rental and shoot the shit along the way. Welcome to the Co-Host Bros Podcast. Here are your hosts, Matt Codd and Austin Spitz.
What's going on, everybody? It's Austin Spitz back with the Co-Host Bros Podcast. I'm filming a tip of the week for everybody. So my co-hosting tip of the week is how do you get started in co-hosting? And this may be an answer that a lot of people may not like to hear, but I think it's the best way to do it. And I think that you should own first. Do you have to own first to start co-hosting? No. But is it a lot harder to get clients when you haven't done anything or shown proof of concept first through doing it yourself? Absolutely. So what I would do is, if you can, work a W-2 job and find a market. And if you're at the point where you make enough money and you can and jump into one of these profitable markets, do your due diligence, find out how to analyze deals, and find a profitable property in a vacation market where you know that you could potentially begin to co-host and start your co-host business. So the answer that I don't think you want to hear is I think that you need to own first. Can you do it without it? Sure. But is it going to be a lot harder to get clients? Absolutely. You are being handed the keys to somebody's, and a lot of these folks, this is the biggest purchase of their life. This is the biggest investment. And it's going to be hard to convince them that this is something they want to hand over to you and you're the person to do it, especially if you haven't done it before. Now, if you can get a lower income producing property, or you can get somebody that a family and friend to get started co-hosting and they're willing to let you take the punches, that's a great way to get started. It's going to be a lot difficult. So what I would say and what I would suggest is buy first, because when you buy first, you have the skin in the game to prove that you can learn the skill set. And I would say manage your own property, learn how all the online travel agencies work, learn how you're going to structure your business going forward. And through that, you can take all of the punches and all the hits and figure out how to co-host from there. But I think the answer is that you have to manage first. So my co-hosting tip of the week is, if you want to become a co-host, purchase first, buy, set up, do the design, learn how to make listings, learn how to use the travel agencies. And basically from here, you're going to be able to show proof of concept to owners and say, hey, this is my property. I already own and manage here. And when you can do that, you can show them that, hey, this is what I manage. I manage this property, which is my own. I own here. I have the boots on the ground. And that's another thing. You're gonna meet the team and you're gonna develop a team along the way versus trying to get a co-host property, which you've never managed before. And you're trying to figure out, okay, well, now I need to find a cleaner. Now I need to find a handyman. Okay, what happens if who's the plumber I go to? What happens if there's an electrical issue? How do I get somebody to run something to the property when something happens? And all that to be said, I think that, if you're able to manage first, own first, buy first, develop that team, and then, you can move forward. And then now, once you start calling on clients and once you show that, hey, I'm able to do this, I've done this with my own property. So full transparency, that's what I did first. I managed my own property by myself and figured out and learned the skill set over the last 3 years. And then I started managing for other people. But I had the experience under my belt and I'd taken those hits. I'd lost money on my own property. Not that my property lost money, But I learned, through doing all that, my property, whenever there was a mistake at my property, I figured out how to solve it versus when you are managing an owner's property, you're trying to figure out how to solve the problem. But if you've already solved the problem at your own place, there's that hurdle that you can get over and manage better for them. So I think leveraging your own property and being able to be an owner first, you can go get more clients because they're like, okay, well, he's the neighbor down the street. He already manages. Okay. And now I can show proof of revenue numbers. What is my property doing? So, like, if they're not going to buy from you anyways, they're not going to want to sign from you anyways if you can't make your own property money. So, you need to be able to show proof of concept of solid management tactics and do it yourself. And I think that it's not really a side hustle like people think it is. You should be able to do it yourself first and show that you can take, potentially somebody's biggest asset and biggest purchase and say, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy and paste here. I'll take care of all the managing duties, and whether you take a lower percentage up front just to get started, um, that's up to you." But you need that leverage and you need something in your back pocket to be able to present to owners that say, hey, I've done this before. So, my co hosting tip of the week, like it or not, my personal opinion is I think you should own first. You should have skin in the game. And you should be able to jump in and do it for yourself first. And the whole point is, like, if you can't do it for yourself first, why do you want to do it for other people? Right? Like, that's the main thing. So I think you need to figure out how to execute first, be an owner if you can first. And even if it's something like, maybe you can find something like a condo or a 2-1 or a smaller bedroom and bathroom that, maybe it'll cash flow and it won't be as profitable as, some of the bigger vacation homes. And if you can start with that and the numbers make sense, then go ahead and do that and buy yourself a nice big asset. But if you can find something small where you can, the cost of the education, the educational piece that you'll get from it, learning how to manage and deal with all the headaches that come with this, owning a short-term rental in the space. I mean, that's invaluable. So you can go ahead and learn that skill set, and yeah, that's when you can use it as leverage to go after owners and show proof of concept. So all that to be said, do what you can to own first, and then once you're in that market, become the face of that market and continue to go after clients and show that, hey, I'm also an owner here. This is what I do. This is what works. This is why we're better than your big property management company. Um, and that's the co-hosting tip of the week. I would say do what you can and get started on your own first before managing for anyone else. Thanks. Peace.
The Co-Host Bros Podcast.